guys, I'm Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com, and we are in Nashville, Tennessee at Summer NAMM 2018 talking to Nick Greer from Greer Amps. Nick,
hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Everything's crazy.
Losing your voice again?
Losing
me
my
too.
voice again, like, 3-4 years in a row.
Yeah, me too. You have two cool new things here. Well, a whole bunch of cool things, but two brand new ones. The Supa Cobra is the pedal where we just heard Kai play, right?
This is it right here. So the Supa Cobra is a high gain overdrive, not a distortion, high gain overdrive. We got a gain control, which of course controls your gain. You got a body control that actually adjusts low end content, low mid range, as well as gain. So these two work in conjunction with one another. This clip switch allows you to engage a fat mode, which is awesome and has a lot of low mid-range girth and grunt to it, some soft knee clipping, and then your middle area there gets you into an open and airy setting, and then down you get more British crunch type sound. Of course, treble controls treble, volume controls volume. It's top jacks with a 9-volt DC, runs off standard 9-volt power supply.
Now, is the body just simply a bass control? Or?
No, the body's controlling, like I said, a bunch of things. It's controlling both like your low end, your low mids, and some gain in those areas as well. So if you increase that body control, you're going to get earlier gain on this knob. If you decrease it, you're going to get higher headroom.
So very amp-like.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I thought it was interesting when you said this is a high gain overdrive, not distortion, because usually I think most guitarists, when they think, oh, that if it's high gain, it must have crossed the threshold from being overdrive to being distortion.
Right.
You want to kind of unpack that for people?
So I think that you'll hear it whenever we start to play, but there's a huge difference in the way that distortion clips and overdrive clips. And whenever you get into like the distortion, the clipping's a little more gnarly and it's just not quite as musical and not quite as smooth. This is high gain, but it still has a smoothness to it. And overdrive just has a little bit more refined tone to it as compared to a distortion.
So when we came in, how did you have it set?
Whenever we came in, we got the volume control barely cracked open, treble's about halfway up, body's just below halfway, and the gain's almost 2/3 of the way up.
And did you have it on the fat clipping?
We're in the fat mode, which is the soft knee clipping with the low mid, kind of chewy type sound.
You want to show us a couple other settings, a little different extremes?
We'll show you some stuff. Get Mr. Kai to play. So we'll start off with it in the fat mode. And then we're going to go down to the LED mode.
So the LED's a little toothier.
Yeah, a little bit more crunch, a little bit more nastiness out of the LED mode. The fat mode gets you a little bit more of that low mid type thing going on, a little smoother type sound. And of course you can mess around with it all. I prefer setting it in a fat mode, bringing the gain back a little bit, bring the volume up just a touch, and bring the body up some, and you end up with a beautiful tone.
Nice. Anything else you want to tell us about that, or should we move on to the Alliance 20?
We're about 2 to 3 weeks out on shipping those. They're absolutely amazing pedals, and whenever they hit the market, I think that everyone's going to love the things.
How much are they going to go for, by the way?
They're going to go for around $215, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's been a long day. My head's all over the place. It's the same price as the Lamplighter.
Okay.
So there we go. If you look on our website, you'll get all the information there at GreerAmps.com.
So you have a new amp that's got like Champ on one side, is that right?
Yes, so this is our new amp, the Alliance 20. It's 20 watts, Class A, uses 2 EL84s, 3 12AX7s, and a 5AR4. Your first channel is like a Tweed Champ. It just has a single volume control, and that's it. It's the cream knob here. Your second channel has 3 controls on it, and it's kind of a blend of like Marshall type tones and Vox type tones. So like if you could blend like an AC15 and a Marshall 20 watt together, that's what you'd end up getting. It's volume treble bass, and there's a universal cut control that you can see there below the knobs. That's a 3 position toggle that applies to both channels. So you've got a channel 1 input, a channel 2 input, your first volume for your first channel, and then these controls over here for your second channel. So you've got the combination of two classic tones from two completely different, areas of the world. It's called the Alliance for a reason, the alliance of British and American tone.
So sorry if I missed it. It is loud in here, but is the cut switch is a mid-range cut?
No, the cut is a high treble cut, and so it adjusts like into three different positions. You have no cut in the middle. On this side of it over here, we got a half cut. On the other side, you've got full treble cut. And it's a 112 combo. Has a G12H30 by Celestion in it, and we can mess around with it. I'll start off in channel 1 if you're cool with that.
Cool. Kai.
Move it up just a little bit. Go to the British channel, channel 2, and we'll start off clean. I'm gonna move it up a little bit. You can hear some kind of Vox AC15 chime type stuff going on. Whenever we push it a little bit further, you'll get into more of that British, like that full crunch type sound, like a Marshall type thing going on.
Sounds killer, man.
Awesome.
So we have
the aux box on top just to attenuate things to keep us out of trouble.
How much are you attenuating it?
We're on the next to last setting, so we have it almost all the way up.
Oh wow! So it's a loud sucker.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
A lot of people are probably wondering, usually when you see like a 2-channel amp or 3-channel amp, especially when they're pretty different voicings, people want to be able to foot switch them. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm guessing you choose to not have them foot switchable in order to keep the circuit simpler, cleaner, or?
It keeps the circuit simpler. It's one point of failure that we don't have to worry about, and it helps the end user by basically keeping their amp on the road with them. With this amp, for instance, if you wanted to foot switch between the 2 channels, you can run an A-B switch and select between A or B.
Yeah.
The channels are out of phase with one another though, so a Y situation would not be a good scenario. So if you're going to run that kind of scenario, you'd want to get an A or B switch, and you can hot switch on the fly kind of thing. In the middle of a show, you can switch from channel A to channel B and be completely fine.
Okay. Are there any other sounds you want to show us on it, or should we?
Let's just move it to right around there, and we'll play around with the cut control for just a little bit. And the other thing I want to show you is if we put it like halfway up and then go a little bit crazy.
Sounds rad, man. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do we got to do to be able to review an amp, man? Because we've reviewed a bunch of your pedals before, and we were talking before rolling that, I mean, I know you make a lot more pedals, but come on, can we get an Alliance 20 to review?
As soon as we have an extra one, we'll send one your way.
That's a no, isn't it?
It's not a no. It's just that they're usually sold before they hit the dealership.
All right, man. You want to tell people where to go online to check out all your stuff?
Sure thing. Hit up greeramps.com. Cool. Super simple.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Kai. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com.